protest where we were advocating for biotechnology. This happened in both Kampala and Nairobi. And we took to the streets. We told people, who told you that science doesn't have advocates? Who told you that people hate GMOs? No, we are here and we are the majority. So we went to the streets and we showed our love for GMOs. Anyone will eat a GMO when it becomes, when Kenyan farmers start growing them? Okay, just a handful. I'm sure by the end of today, you will understand why we advocate for this science, and you will consume these GMOs when they become available in Kenya. But like I said, this year we have 3 theme areas. Food security, specifically biotechnology. I guess this has to go off. Yes, food security, but I'm still getting an echo. I wonder why. So food security, biotechnology specifically, nuclear energy, and then climate change. We shall do something about trees and plastics by the end of this year or early next year. So I guess really that's just about it, Replanet Africa. But you know, how did I hear about Replanet? Maybe 2 years ago. You know, before COVID, it was before Christ and after Christ. Then after COVID, we started before COVID, and after COVID, thankfully, we maintained the C in the, in the acronym. So during COVID, during the COVID lockdown, Mark here invited me to speak to a group of young Europeans. Those days, they used to call themselves eco-modernists. He told me it's a group of very lovely people, chilled out, pro-environmentalists, but they want to hear what's happening in Africa. So I spoke with them. There were like maybe 30 to 45 people. I spoke with them. I listened to what they're doing in their different countries. And 2 years later, after COVID, Mark reminded me that, we've always wanted to get this movement to come into the African continent. Is it something that you're interested in doing? And I said, yes, of course. So that is how Replanet comes to Africa. The idea of eco-modernism. Eco-modernism is really about being pro-environment and pro-people. We don't love trees more than we love you. We actually love you more than we love trees. We love you more than we love energy. We want nature to be liberated, and that's our vision and mission, to liberate nature, but we also want to elevate humanity. So where does nuclear energy come into all of this? Of course, it is in the liberation of nature, because as you'll find out during this evening, nuclear energy is zero carbon, but also it has the capability of powering an entire nation, of powering the entire continent, and in so doing, lifting us out of poverty. How many of you have cooked using firewood? Okay, there are some lucky few who haven't. But you're just coughing and you're just a mess. And then they tell you a woman doesn't cough. Who told you women don't cough? Who told you as smoke doesn't go into our lungs and it messes up our system? And so we want an Africa that is not backward. We want an Africa where we are not exposed to all sorts of diseases just because we are cooking with firewood and our children are falling into the fire. If you take your time and look around at some Africans, they have funny scars. They'll tell you that I was born like that, but they weren't born like that. They were little children running around their mothers, and they fell in the fire, in the firewood fire. So among the so many numerous benefits of nuclear energy that I won't tell you, because our AC participants wrote down these benefits and we evaluated them, and this evening we are here to celebrate those minds. The minds who told us that okay, we see you Replanet. You want to elevate Africa through SDG 7 and 9. Anyone can tell me what SDG 7 is about? We all came from the Africa Summit today. Energy, yes. And SDG 9? Okay. No one. I'll give a goodie at the end of the day. So let's ask Miss Google, and she'll tell us what SDG 9 stands for. So they were like, okay, we see you are for SDG 7 and 9, and we are going to share our thoughts. So that is why we carried out this essay competition, to hear what is it that young people think about nuclear energy? What is it that young people think about the development of Africa? And that is why we are here this evening. We say thank you for coming to celebrate with us those winners. It's going to be a fabulous evening of learning. And at the end of the day, please feel free to walk up to me or our team. Replanet Uganda is also here. It's not just Replanet Kenya. I would like to request our members from Uganda, Replanet Uganda, to just stand up. Olivia, Perez.
And Replanet Kenya. I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to have you here because of this engaging essay competition that we held starting from July 1st to July 31st. And this was brought about by a few issues because we wanted to ignite the conversation around nuclear energy as a sustainable energy source and also as an alternate to fossil fuels. And we felt that involving students in this process was one of the ways that we could build, because these students are generally the leaders of tomorrow, and we want to build have informed and knowledgeable leaders that are able to make the right solutions when it comes to powering our African continent. And so for this nuclear energy competition, we received 128 valid submissions. And of those submissions, we had applicants and submissions from 60 universities across Africa, across 13 countries. And of those 13 countries, we found that there are some countries that actually caught on more than others. And maybe these are the countries where nuclear energy might be needed and might be propping up in the future. And of these are Uganda, which had 38 participants, Nigeria, which had 36 participants, and Kenya, which had 33 participants. So this competition, we tried to make it as blinded as possible, in the sense that very few members of the team will access the information at any single time. And how we did this was, at the first stage, when the submissions were received, after the deadline, they were all put together and divided among 4 of our able members of the team. And these members were unaware of the rankings. They were just given different numbers that they could assign the candidates, and they were to take out any identifying information about the candidates. Be it, because we'd asked the candidates for a lot of information, their demographics, their names, their lecturers' names. So we ensured that none of this information was left in any of those submissions, and the candidates were just identified by a singular candidate number. And following this, we had listed out a criteria for which the candidates were supposed to follow. And once the 4 members of our team returned those submissions, the coded essays were then subdivided among other different members. No member received the same essay they had coded before. And for this was just to check the different criteria that we'd given. And that includes the word count, if it fit between the different levels that we'd given them, the font, and other guidelines that we listed on the guideline document. And following that, all the essays that passed this criteria stage were then run through plagiarism detectors, and that is the Turnitin detector, and where we had a cutoff point of 15%. And from this, all the essays that were passed through plagiarism, the Turnitin plagiarism detector, 41% passed that. So you can see the numbers are reducing as we move. And 41 of these essays that passed the plagiarism test that had a score of less than 15%, indicating originality of the work that the people had done, they were then taken, the passing essays, and again subdivided to our able team. Now that is Patricia Nantenza and Timothy Machi. And from here, they were supposed to grade these S's on a scale of 1 to 100 based on their feasibility, their research and evidence, organization and structure, analysis and critical thinking, and integration of the themes that we wanted to see. And these themes are, there's a clean energy access, there's a climate change mitigation, energy diversification, socioeconomic benefits, and environmental concerns. And also, the creativity and clarity of the submissions were also looked into. And you can see, from here, we can say all the essays that got to this point were some of the best essays that were out there. Maybe some of the best essay writers that we have out there. And because of this, we actually had to increase the pass mark from the before number that we had agreed on of 60% to a 75%, because all the essays that had gotten to this stage were high quality essays. And from there, the essays that got a score of above 75% were 7. And from these essays, the 7 essays were then sent to 4 external reviewers, and I will name them. I think I should get a prompt here for the names. But the 4 judges were Mr. Marius Chonang Pokoha, there was Marco Visicher, Craig Jantzen, and Rauri Paten. These are leaders in the nuclear field. They are people who understand the science of nuclear energy, and we felt they were the best place to actually evaluate these essays and see if they answer the questions that we so desperately needed. How is nuclear energy going to work for Africa? So first and foremost, I think I'd like to thank the judges. Most of them are joining us online. Thank you so much for your effort and participation. And from these 7 submissions that we sent to the judges, there were 5 that emerged top, and those are the ones that are going to be awarded here today. So as we wait for them to post up the profiles of the judges up here, I will then just ask us to repeat the slogan. So what was it? I can't hear you. Energy. Energy. So I'll say nuclear, you say? Nuclear? Nuclear? Thank you so much.
Guest of honor. It is a privilege for me to stand here today to be part of the new exciting beginning of the Planet Africa, the chapter here, right in Nairobi, during the African Climate Summit in Kenya. Including Africa in the global development efforts is essential for a more equitable, prosperous, and stable world. The early environmental movement emerged from a stark realization and the undeniable signs of our planet's distress. They were right before our eyes. Uncontrolled emissions, ruthless whale hunting, nuclear weapon tests in our skies became symbols of humanity's reckless exploitation of the Earth. This awakening ignited a fire within both the public and policymakers. Significant victories have been secured, and these issues now hold a place of paramount importance. Yet, regrettably, the traditional environmental movement often carries a narrow perspective on our relationship with nature. It presumes that humanity's impact is solely negative, necessitating suppression. This mindset reflects criticism of economic growth, despite its role in the lifting countless people from poverty. Even advanced technologies like genetic modification and advanced plant breeding techniques face opposition, despite their enormous potential to feed the world. Our global energy system accounts for 3/4 of the climate change emissions, and some environmental groups oppose only the scalable source of fossil fossil fuels and reliable energy, the nuclear power. Curiously, nations have phased out nuclear power remain dependent on fossil fuels. Solar and wind energy show promise, but alone they cannot sustain modern fossil-free societies. Nuclear power, constituting 40% of advanced economies' electricity, is our largest source of clean energy. As our energy needs to double or even triple, the need for fossil-free baseload power becomes even more evident. Replanet unites those who believe in the harmony of human prosperity, vibrant ecosystems, pristine oceans, and stable climate. We welcome all of those who see technological and economic progress as a vital tool for the environment in our modern era. Replanet represents a science-focused, non-profit organization, and we view humans not as the problem, but as the solution. Environmental and climate endeavors will falter if they hinder of our pursuit of fulfilling lives. We envision a future founded on ecological, social, and economic sustainability, where technology propels us towards cleaner air, more efficient energy use, responsible agriculture, and healthier ecosystems. To achieve this vision, we recognize the need for a shift in political decisions and economic incentives. That's why we're uniting individuals from diverse backgrounds and political affiliations to forge a new environmental movement, one that champions science and evidence-based policymaking, one that understands the necessity of all fossil-free energy sources, including nuclear, in tackling the climate change. Ensuring Africa's active participation in the global transition for clean energy is vital, as it is not only promising sustainable development, but also fostering global equity. Neglecting this continent's potential hinders the progress towards a more prosperous and environmentally balanced world. Together we aim to confront the great challenges of our time and build a better future for all. The world is never better than in its inhabitants, so let's replanet as something. Thank you.
So Carolina is going to tell us who our number 5 winner is.
Okay, another great honor. So, in the 5th place, from Jomo Kenyatta University of Agriculture and Technology, Sandra Afwande Olwango. Congratulations. Please enter the stage.
Good evening. My name is Sandra Afwande Olwango. I'm from Jomo Kenyatta University. I participated in this nuclear essay writing competition on July. Okay. Yeah, I'm a student of radiography at the Jomo Kenyatta University. I got to learn of nuclear energy mainly through my course, because we deal with radiation in diagnosing patients and in treating patients. So I got to know first about the use of nuclear in medicine. But as I advanced, now I'm in 4th year, as I was advancing, I got to learn of the role of nuclear in other fields, such as agriculture, in energy. So the writing of this essay, I was like saying about how nuclear energy is going to aid Africa as a whole in attaining the SDG number 7, which is for Africa to have clean energy. And I hope such organizations like Planet Africa, they advocate for nuclear energy and pushing the word about nuclear to the population, to the public, and to the governments. It will solve most of Africa's problem, especially pertaining to energy. And for any development to occur, we need sustainable energy. Yeah. And I'm also a member of the Kenya Young Generation in Nuclear. And my president is here. He's Mr. Raphael Chesuri. He's also my lecturer. Yeah, thank you.
Mr. Raphael, please come through because I'm lecturer.
Nuclear. At number 4, we have a 4th-year student of Bachelor of Petroleum Geoscience and Production from Makerere University in Uganda. He's called Chigala Jesse Sin.
Thank you very much. I'm Chigala Jesse. I bring you greetings from the Pearl of Africa. I would like to thank Replanet Africa for this platform of giving us a voice to contribute towards a sustainable future. Nuclear energy has several benefits, but allow me to summarize it this way. It's not only the energy, but it has side stream linkages with agriculture, health, and so many other sectors. So let me summarize it this way. Africa is faced with a double threat. We know of the energy trilemma, and we also have the energy transition. These are real trends, these are realities. And nuclear energy is a top contender of addressing both of these trends. Finally, I would like to thank my collaborating tutor in absentia, I think is following online, Mr. Joseph Okulo, and all our people in Uganda that are tuning in live, and every one of you who has participated in this process, and all the stakeholders that have made this happen. Thank you very much.
I have it here. Coming in the 3rd position is Chiahanam Joseph from the University of Nigeria, a 5th-year student of medicine and surgery. Who is taking it for him?
Junior will deliver it.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Yes. Thank you very much, Mr. Kofi.
Where is the name? Oh, yes, I can see it. Now, this is from the University of Pretoria, South Africa, 1st year, physical sciences. Our 1st year must have done very well. Mpigie makofi kidogo. He's Colonel He's a 1st-year student in physical. He's a 1st-year student doing physical sciences from the University of Pretoria. I think he has worked very well. We need to appreciate him again. The others have been at year 4.
Is Mike Felix Okoth Ochieng.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Mike Felix Okoth. I'm an electrical and electronics engineering student at the Jomo Kenyatta University of Agriculture and Technology. I'm thankful to be given this opportunity to get to be part of this essay writing competition. For so long, Africa has been looked upon as a place where if anything ever happens to the rest of the world, Africa will be the place where we'll now be starting over. Because of our basic life skills that we gain through agriculture and everything. And when Pete was talking here, he talked about us being young leaders, being the leaders of tomorrow. And I really thank Replanet Africa for giving us this opportunity. But ever since we've been growing up, we've been told that we are the leaders of tomorrow. But I think, I'm not saying we're old enough, but I think we're reached a point right now. Just hope people to trust us and believe in us to be the leaders now. I would also like to thank my lecturer, Mr. Simon Chege. His guidance and support through this process was very immeasurable. He helped me a lot. I'm very passionate in writing. I'm also passionate in matters that relate to energy and finding ways that to make Africa sustainable. And I'm very happy to be part of this opportunity. Replanet Africa, a few days back when I was getting the email that I was being invited to be here, I actually wanted to come online. And my lecturer told me, why don't you come physical? What if you win? And I remember asking him, I really think I could win. And it came as a shock when I received the email that I may be one of the top 5 winners. And I'm here, and I'm thankful for the opportunity. I thank God that I got to take part in this endeavor. Thank you, Replanet, and thank you, Mr. Chege.
Please come and give our winner his gift. Yes, so the top 3 get a laptop. So what Felix here is receiving is a laptop. Darlene and Joseph in Nigeria, Jumia is going to deliver your laptop to your doorstep. So please make sure you give us the right address. Your laptop will get to you within a week. And the lecturer is here, right? Please come. So Mike plus his lecturer, they get the opportunity to travel to South Africa. And visit a nuclear reactor. So congratulations again. And maybe we shall hear from the lecturer just briefly. As when he finishes, I would like to invite all those who are in the room, the winners who are in the room, Sophie, Prof, Carolina, so that we can come and take a photo together.
Thank you very much. Good evening, everyone. I'm pretty excited that my student is a winner today, and I'm also very honored to be part of this occasion. We started this journey on, 17th of July, when we received an email from our administration that there was an essay competition that was being held. And I forwarded to many classes that are in our departments, and several students showed interest, and I worked with some of them, and I'm happy to say that Mike was exceptional. We did almost 15 iterations for that essay, and I'm pleased to say that we did a good job, and I'm very excited to be part of this occasion. Thank you, Replanet Africa, for giving our students a platform to be involved in advocacy, and we are inviting you to our university so that we can be able to help you also advocate your message. Thank you very much.
appreciate the opportunity that I've been given as the chairman of Replanning Africa. 2, I want to congratulate all those that have won. It has been very special. There is a first year in the University of Pretoria. Then in the whole team, there is only one girl. All the 5, 4 are men. One is msichana's mama. I want you to clap for this girl. I want to appreciate this. Before I forget, this is what I want to share. Bwana Chege, as a lecturer, Chesoli is here as a lecturer. I want to make a request. I will request Replanet International to write a letter to your respective universities. Of course, you come from one university, Jomo Kenyatta, to write to the dean, to the chairman of their departments, to indicate that these 2 are talented. That will help them go to the second level when they finish. It will make it easier for you to get a scholarship for your second level. So I want to ask Carolina that we shall work with you. You do a letter, you appreciate them. You explain what they have gone through and where they have reached. It means these are younger talents that universities can nurture. Chege can want to follow that to help Okoth get a scholarship. Chesoli, you may want to use that to help this young girl get a scholarship, go to the next level. That is what we do in universities, because I also belong to the university. For those of you who are seeing me for the first time, I've been a lecturer from the 80s. I quit a bit. I became a deputy governor somewhere for 5 years. Went for elections in Kenya, they say, nikaanguka bila kupingwa. I didn't go through. So now I'm in NEMA, and now I'm the chairman of Replanet. What I wanted to assure our colleagues from Europe is this. We are going to work very hard. Patricia, you are here. Team March is here. We are going to work very hard to register Replanet Africa Kenya chapter. The guy who is going to help us register was not able to come here. He's in Botswana, but we have already talked. As soon as he comes, he will be helping us to register. Then too, the Minister for Environment would have been here today, tonight. The chairman of NEMA and the CEO of NEMA. But today was a very difficult day. We tried to bite more than we could chew. That's what I saw. So it was not possible. So I want to thank the vice chairman who has come here to represent them. And the vice chairman is very special in the sense that she's a Maasai girl, and the Maasais in Kenya are among the communities that are suffering most from the crisis created by the climate change. So I'm happy that they didn't come, they gave you an opportunity to be seen here. For people to know that you are surviving, you are resilient, and so on. So I want to appreciate you. Finally, friends, climate change is climate crisis is a very serious matter. Irrespective of your political persuasion, your religious persuasion, we must come together as members of the human race to fight for climate change. It is very, very critical. For those of you who know Nairobi, September and August is supposed to be very cold. But when you pass out, it's not. It's not as cold as it's supposed to be because of the rising what? Temperatures. So it is a crisis. And before I finish, have a tendency of not remembering well, have colleagues I came with. Bishop Dr. Paul Mwaura, can you stand? is a member of the board, NEMA. Amos Andama, he was my student at Kenyatta University. He sits on the board of NEMA with me. Amos, thank you for coming. I saw Ongare. Ongare, can you come in front? You are not as tall as I am, so you're not be seen very well. Ongare is one of the senior officers of NEMA, a technical man who understands so many issues about climate change, including issues related to nuclear energy. I want to appreciate him. In fact, it was a pleasant surprise that I saw him here because I didn't invite him here. He had his own network of coming here. Can you give him a clap? I came with a friend while at the Africa Climate Summit. I ran into a friend, Kofi from Ghana. To remember his name, remember Kofi Annan, but after that, remove Annan. Here he is. He told me he's very excited about Climate Africa, and he wants, with the permission from Carolina and others, he wants to begin the West African chapter. Thank you. Finally, I came with my able vice chair. I'm a member of NEMA. I'm not the chairman, I'm not the vice. Mimi ni mtu wa mkono. But we have a chairman who would have been here. He was not able to come, called Emilio Mugo. But we have a vice chair who is very, very able. Madam Sophie Takaria Matura. Tonight, she's our chief guest. Perhaps, without saying more than what I've done, allow me and help me to appreciate her as she comes over to make her remarks. Thank you so much. The vice chair, I'm loyal, but once you come here, now I'm the chair.
This is one guy, when he's not around, everything just, he's a very funny guy. And we thank God that he's in our lives in one way or the other. So distinguished guests, scholars, and inspiring researchers, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. My name is Sophie Matura, as my colleague has said, and a vice chair to NEMA, and I thank God for that. First, before I read my, not really my speech, you know, I have my directors here, so they will take the information to the chair. So before I read the chair's speech, accept the apology of the Cabinet Secretary, Honorable Soipan Pantuya, our Chairman, Emilio Mugo, and also our DG. All of them will have wished to be here, but due to the very busy schedule of the climate change, I'm sure all of us are aware of that, they could not come. So have you received the apology? You're not talking as if you're convinced. Asante sana. So allow me to read the speech of our chairman, that is Emilio Mugo, who was actually to represent the CS, but now he was not available, so I'm the one to represent him. It is an absolute honor to stand before you this evening in this ceremony that honors our bright young men and women as they contribute to the understanding of nuclear energy and its place in Africa. As a people and as a generation, nuclear energy is perhaps Africa's last best hope to address climate change and powering sustainable economic development. Looking at this room, all present share a common goal: to explore innovative solutions that address the challenges posed by climate change while ensuring a suitable future for Africa. Climate change is an existence threat that demands action, urgent action. Africa, with its rich biodiversity and a vulnerable ecosystem, is particularly susceptible to the adverse impact of the changing climate, rising temperatures, extreme weather events, and dwindling water resources poses significant challenges to our continent's social, economic, and environmental well-being. In the circumstances, nuclear energy emerges as a compelling solution. It offers a clean, reliable, and low-carbon alternative to fossil fuels, making it a key element in our transition towards a sustainable energy future. Nuclear power plants produces virtually no greenhouse gas emissions during their operations, and their ability to generate large amounts of electricity consistently can help reduce Africa's reliance on fossil fuels and mitigate our carbon footprint. Moreover, nuclear energy has the potential to address the pressing issue of energy poverty in Africa, where up to 600 million people have no access to reliable electricity. In Kenya, by 2040, the demand for electricity will exhaust the current generation capacity, making a powerful case for urgent adaptation of nuclear power. Only this way shall we be able to generate up to 5,000 megawatts by the year 2030 to feed the anticipated growth in energy consumption at both household and industrial level. Nuclear power plants can provide a stable and abundant source of energy, enabling us to meet the increasing demand of our rapidly growing population and drive economic development. However, even as we do this, we must acknowledge the importance of implementing nuclear energy in a manner that prioritizes safety, security, and sustainability. As a country, we are working to develop robust regulatory frameworks, stringent safety protocols, and comprehensive waste management to ensure the responsible use of nuclear technology. To therefore have the next generation of leaders lend their voices to this topic in the manner they have done is laudable. To the winners and all the participants, congratulations. Your essays have shed light on the critical role that nuclear energy can play in Africa's sustainable development journey. Your exceptional essays have not only earned you well-deserved recognition, but have also contributed to the growing body of knowledge of nuclear energy in Africa. Your research, insights, recommendations, and profound understanding of nuclear energy will undoubtedly contribute to the ongoing dialogue to shape the way we approach this source, addressing the challenges we face and maximizing the opportunity it presents. To Replant Africa, thank you for creating this platform through which our upcoming scholars and researchers have demonstrated profound understanding and vision for the future of nuclear energy on our continent. Kindly let us clap for Replant Africa. Thank you so much. Your commitment to promoting scientific inquiry and raising awareness about the potential of nuclear energy in addressing climate change and promoting sustainable development in Africa is commendable. In closing, as a country and as a continent, let us embrace the opportunity presented by nuclear energy to combat climate change, reduce our carbon footprints, and foster sustainable development. Together, we can create a future where clean and reliable energy is accessible to all, where our natural resources are preserved, and where the well-being of our people and our planet is safeguarded. Thank you, and may our collective effort pave the way for a prosperous and a sustainable Africa. God bless you, and God bless Africa. Thank you so much. Asanteni sana.
Thank you, Madam Sophie. I would like